A morning in my classroom. Well, as soon as the children come in, my observation of them is, are they quiet? If they're quiet and calm, I know we're going to have a pretty good day. If they come in, they're noisy, oh my gosh, I know I'm going to have to use several of my power teaching whole brain strategies, lessons. And I brought one of my lessons right here to show you what it looks like. Because when the traditional teaching, like the workbooks or the introducing one of the district teacher manual lessons isn't working, I'm just wasting my time. This is when I have to go to this because I want to get this concept across to the children. They must learn the standard because we have tests that we're constantly administering to these children. And we can't waste time trying to get them, to behave. So I have the lesson which engages all the children 100%. And I'm talking about really engaging them because I may put this into a competition game.
Now let me ask you a question. Is this a lesson that you personally prepared?
Right, this is a lesson I've written.
And is it and others like it contained in one or more of your books?
Right, this is in my English language arts book right here.
Okay.
And this is a 2-page lesson, and then at the end of the lesson I can give a test to find out how well the children did on the test. And this is in the quote the teacher was talking about. He administered a pre-test, something like this. Only 10% of the children were able to pass the test. After doing my lesson, 90% of the children were able to pass the lesson, the test, I mean.
Neat.
But if I really want them to really understand the concept, I go into the competitive game. And that's when you see their eyes popping. They're starting to sit up like this now because they know there's going to be competition going on between one side against the other. And you can have rewards. The reward can be a sticker, even a sticker. They want to do the game, and they're working together. And then there starts to be that respect between the children because they have to work together to be the winners.
So it's team-oriented.
Right. And I'm telling you, it just fills my heart to see these children so excited about learning a state standard, which can be so boring. And a lot of the workbooks that we have for the children now is boring. And you wonder why the children are not behaving and they don't want to come to school. And after this lesson, if I'm doing a competitive game, the bell rings, the recess bell. They don't want to go out. They beg me, please, let's stay in, and I want to break. But they don't want to break. They want to continue on with the lesson. And at the end of the school day, I have children saying, I don't want to go home. I mean, not just one or two. Half the class don't want to go home. They want to stay at school and say, we want to stay at school and learn. Learning is fun. Because they're having so much fun learning. I mean...
Now, you mentioned about the fact that you need a break. That leads me to my next question. Your lessons sound like the teacher has to expend a lot of energy.
Yes and no. Sometimes I do. If I find myself, I can't keep this pace up, I bring up my little mini teachers, what we talked about before. They get up. They start teaching the lesson. This team has their mini teacher who they chose as their leader, and this team has their leader. I'm able to just step back, and I'm monitoring, and I'm walking around. I'm relaxing, and this is psychological benefits for me and also the children because they're enjoying themselves teaching. I just walk around, maybe for 10 minutes. The kids are going back and forth, and it's quality teaching that's going on, quality learning.
So you're monitoring constantly?
Yes, I'm monitoring everything. And if there's a child there that can't get his hands right with the clapping or something, then I go back there and help them along. Because you do have those children in your classroom who are non-English speaking children who might need a little bit more guidance. But the other kids are just going on and doing their business. Everybody is participating. Everybody feels good about it because they're all learning. They're all part of it. Not, I don't even know what they're talking about, all isolated by themselves. There's a lot of children who are like that. And that's one reason why I wrote these lessons, because I want to engage all the children. I want no child left behind. They don't have to be left behind. And it's all up to that teacher standing in front of them. Can she draw them in? Can she get them motivated to want to learn and do well on the test and get high scores?
So you feel that your lessons can help a student who heretofore has not done well in math to produce results that they've never been able to generate before?
Right. Like I said, my lessons are power teaching, whole brain lessons. They're not just using one side of the brain, which most of the lessons we teachers teach, I shouldn't include myself, other teachers teach, just using one side of the brain. In my lessons, we're using both sides of the brain. The children are clapping, snapping, or moving their body. They're getting oxygen to their body, exercising. And this oxygen is going up to their head, giving them, more oxygen to retain and feel better. Wake up!
Well, what you say, it sounds terrific, but it concerns me because I know that today many classrooms are located very close to each other. Mm-hmm. With that in mind, would the students participating in these lessons create too much noise?
Yes and no. It all depends on the teacher. I can have my children doing these lessons and we are whispering. We have a silent clap. There's no noise whatsoever. And they're also getting their exercise. The competitive game is going on. I tell them, we are having so much fun. We don't want to interrupt the class next door. So if you want to continue on with this, you have to do it quietly. And they'll do it in a whisper. And they sometimes say, let's do it in quiet. We can do it. They want to play a game and learn. And also the teacher has to be enthusiastic too. If the teacher's up like this, okay, boys, girls, let's play. Well, my gosh, they're not going to be enthusiastic about learning either. So, like the NEA comment, it's all in the teacher standing up in front of that class that makes them test well, enjoy school, and there are rewards for them. Many rewards. Physical rewards, rewards of, psychological rewards.
Something that you said before we started videotaping this interview led me to believe that music plays a big part in your strategies and your lessons. Does a teacher need to have a music background in order to utilize your books?
No, they don't have to have any background in music. I say music. Kids love music. You say, we're going to do a musical, song lesson, and the clapping is the music. It's keeping a nice, steady beat.
Even with the silent clapping?
Even with the silent clap. It's like this. It's like tapping your feet. When you hear music, you're tapping your feet, or you got this, but it's all quiet. And that's the music. And they have proven that if you incorporate music, you can read, the retention is very, very high with the music concept.
Your mini teachers, and I assume that's the females. You also have Mickey teachers. That's the little guys. But I wanted to ask you a question. I noticed on your website the children actually doing the teaching, and I'm overwhelmed. What do you do to incentivize a child to do that, to become a teacher?
Well, all children want some kind of recognition, and a lot of these little mini teachers are behavior problems. Those little behavior problem children, they are bright. They want to control everything. That's why they're bullies. And so when I tell them they have an opportunity to be the mini teacher, boy, do they straighten up and get respect from the children, and they love that. And then I just turn them right around to become respectful students. They give me a lot of behavior problems. The principals know that I can change these little girls, boys around, and I do. Year after year. The class is different, but the way I teach and the way the children respond is always the same.